In a small town overshadowed by the relentless march of time and technology, there stood a peculiar hotel that seemed to be crafted from a dream, or perhaps a fevered imagination. The Soul Hotel, it proclaimed in curlicued letters that danced across a faded sign, beckoning lost souls and wandering spirits alike. Its whimsical architecture resembled a child's drawing come to life, with crooked roofs and brightly painted doors, each one promising a unique adventure behind it. Lu Wei had never been a particularly adventurous person. In fact, if he were to describe himself, he would say he was as exciting as a lukewarm cup of tea left to languish on a desk. He had stumbled upon the hotel while searching for a trendy boutique stay online. Instead, he found himself in front of the Soul Hotel, a place that looked more like a carnival attraction than an upscale getaway. As he stood in front of the entrance, his phone buzzed incessantly. His best friend had sent him a string of worried texts about their upcoming project, and he could feel the weight of expectation pressing down on him. Lu, with his usual blend of confusion and resignation, pushed the door open, stepping inside with a blend of curiosity and a hint of trepidation. The lobby was a kaleidoscope of mismatched furniture and vibrant art. An old record player crackled in the corner, filling the air with a soft, jazzy tune that made Lu's shoulders relax a little. The walls were adorned with peculiar paintings that seemed to change expressions as he walked by. At the reception desk stood a woman who could only be described as delightfully eccentric. Madame Lin, with her colorful shawls and mismatched earrings, greeted him with an inviting smile. "Welcome to the Soul Hotel, dear guest. You must be Lu Wei," she said, her voice like honey laced with mischief. "We've been expecting you." Expecting me?" Lu stammered, taken aback. I think you might have me confused with someone else." "Nonsense. Every guest has their own journey here. You'll find the rooms quite illuminating," she said, handing him an ornate key that jingled like a happy little bell. "Just beware of what lies behind your door." Lu chuckled nervously, taking the key and glancing around. The hotel had a charm that was hard to resist, even if it was a little unsettling. He wandered toward the hallway, his footsteps echoing on the wooden floor, each step tinged with the anticipation of the unknown. As he approached his room, he noticed the door was adorned with a faded image of a whimsical creature that looked suspiciously like a dragon crossed with a cat. He inserted the key, and the door creaked open, revealing a room that was unlike anything he had ever imagined. Inside was chaos. A laundry basket overflowed with clothes, a mountain of crumpled paper littered the floor, and a peculiar sock puppet perched on the edge of the bed, its googly eyes wide with what Lu could only describe as enthusiasm. "Hey there, buddy. Welcome to the room of disarray," the sock puppet exclaimed, its voice high-pitched and overly cheerful. "I'm Sir Wobbles, your trusty guide to the inner workings of your chaotic mind." Lu blinked, still processing the absurdity of it all. Nice to meet you, Sir Wobbles. Is this normal?" "Normal is overrated," Sir Wobbles proclaimed, bouncing up and down. "Let's dig into your mess, shall we? It's time for some soul-searching." Lu couldn't help but laugh. This was going to be anything but ordinary. As the days unfolded in the Soul Hotel, Lu found himself exploring various rooms, each representing a different aspect of the human experience. Each encounter was a bizarre yet enlightening journey that unraveled the threads of his own psyche. In the Chamber of Regrets, Lu met Mr. Zhang, an elderly man dressed in a tweed suit who seemed to exist in a perpetual state of nostalgia. The room was a theatrical stage where Mr. Zhang reenacted his greatest regrets with flair and dramatic expression. "Oh, the time I forgot my wife's birthday," Mr. Zhang lamented, his face a canvas of sorrow as he pulled out a bouquet of wilted flowers. I spent weeks making excuses, but nothing could erase that day. Lou watched, half amused and half empathetic, as the old man donned different costumes for each regret, an outlandish pirate hat for his youthful misadventures, a pair of oversized glasses for his academic failures. Each performance was infused with humor and an undeniable truth about the weight of regret. Regret is like a heavy backpack, Lou remarked, chuckling as Mr. Zhang dramatically collapsed under the weight of his imaginary load. It can be funny, but it can also be exhausting. Exactly. Mr. Zhang exclaimed, his eyes twinkling with mischief. We must learn to laugh at our regrets. Otherwise, they'll anchor us down. Lou left the chamber of regrets with a lightness in his heart, the echoes of laughter lingering in his mind. It was refreshing to see life's missteps through a humorous lens, and he felt a flicker of hope sparking within him. The next stop was the Gallery of Dreams, where Lou encountered Tina, a spirited artist whose vivid creations burst forth from the canvas like fireflies in a summer night. Each painting came to life, swirling and dancing around the room, creating a whimsical chaos that made Lou feel like a child again. Every brushstroke is a wish, Tina declared, her paint-splattered apron giving her an air of chaotic brilliance. This one? It's about freedom. She gestured to a painting of a giant balloon that seemed to float through the air, tugging at Lou's heartstrings. Why don't you paint your dreams? She asked, tilting her head. What's holding you back? Lou scratched his chin, considering her question. I guess I'm just afraid they won't turn out as I imagine. Fear is just paint drying too slowly. Tina winked. Let it run wild. Dreams are meant to be messy and unexpected. As Lou watched her bring her wild dreams to life, he realized how often he had stifled his own creativity in favor of practicality. With renewed vigor, he left the Gallery of Dreams, a newfound determination bubbling in his chest. Next, he ventured into the Hall of Fears, where he met Kevin, a knight clad in shiny armor that clinked and clanked with every exaggerated movement. However, Kevin was not your typical brave knight. He was a comically cowardly warrior who faced his fears through ridiculous trials. Behold! Kevin announced dramatically, raising his sword. I shall conquer the giant rubber chicken. With a flourish, he pointed to a gigantic inflatable chicken that bounced around the room, honking like a deranged car horn. Are you serious? Lou asked, chuckling at the absurdity. Absolutely. Kevin exclaimed, charging at the chicken with exaggerated bravado. A knight must face his fears. The ensuing battle was nothing short of hysterical as Kevin dodged the flapping wings of the inflatable monster, while Lou doubled over in laughter. With each failed attempt to vanquish the chicken, Lou realized that fear often looked far more ridiculous than it felt. Maybe fear is just a giant rubber chicken, Lou mused, wiping tears of laughter from his eyes. Easier to face than we think. Exactly. Kevin gasped, finally collapsing in a fit of giggles. Let's confront our fears with laughter. After an afternoon filled with absurd battles and hearty laughter, Lou left the Hall of Fears feeling lighter than air, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. Next, he wandered into the labyrinth of loneliness, where he met Elena, a woman who spoke exclusively in self-help quotes. The room was an endless maze of mirrors that reflected a myriad of distorted images. Isolation is the prison of the mind. Elena exclaimed dramatically, pointing at a quote on the wall. But together, we can break free. Sure? Lou replied, navigating the mirrors and catching glimpses of his distorted self. But what if you feel alone in a crowded room? Ah! The greatest loneliness is being surrounded by people who don't understand you. Elena chimed, twirling with theatrical flair. You must find your tribe. As they wandered through the maze, their conversation twisted and turned with humorous misunderstandings. Elena's exuberance was infectious, and Lou couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. Maybe I need to find a better tribe, he mused, reflecting on his own social circles. Or maybe just learn to embrace my weirdness. Yes! Elena shouted, raising her arms as if to embrace the universe. Your weirdness is your superpower. With a newfound appreciation for connection and the quirks of human interaction, Lou exited the labyrinth, feeling invigorated and ready to embrace the chaos of relationships. Next, he found himself in the dance of emotions, a vibrant studio filled with colorful lights and rhythmic music. Here, he met Raj, a flamboyant dancer who personified various emotions through captivating movements. Welcome to the dance floor of life, Raj proclaimed, spinning with exuberance. Each emotion deserves to be celebrated. Lou watched in awe as Raj embodied happiness with a joyful jig, then seamlessly transitioned to sadness with a slow, melancholic sway. It was mesmerizing and oddly enlightening. Why do we suppress our emotions? Raj asked, his movements fluid and expressive. Every emotion has a story. With a mixture of laughter and introspection, Lou joined in, mimicking Raj's movements, feeling the weight of his own emotions lifting with every step. They danced through happiness, sadness, and everything in between, finding joy in the ebb and flow of life. Dance like nobody's watching, Raj shouted, and Lou found himself laughing freely, releasing the pent-up stress of expectations. Finally, Lou entered the mirror of self-perception, where he confronted a magical mirror that showed him distorted reflections of himself based on societal expectations. Each version was more exaggerated and comical than the last: a hyper-successful businessman, a famous influencer, and even a nerdy superhero with an oversized cape. What is this madness? Lou asked, unable to contain his laughter. It's the mirror of your self-doubt, the mirror chimed. These are the personas you think you need to embody. Wow, I really don't need a cape, Lou chuckled, staring at the ridiculous reflection. Or to be a millionaire. I just want to be me. The mirror shimmered, and Lou felt a wave of relief wash over him. He understood now that he didn't need to conform to anyone's expectations. He could carve his own path. Self-acceptance is the key, the mirror declared, and Lou stepped back, feeling empowered and light. As Lou's journey continued, he stumbled into the closet of secrets, where he encountered an array of humorous skits showcasing past guests' secrets, each one more ridiculous than the last. A pair of shoes narrated their tale of being abandoned in a closet, while a stuffed animal recounted its adventures in the world of forgotten toys. Secrets are like old clothes, one quirky outfit remarked. They should be shared or they just gather dust. Lou laughed heartily, realizing the absurdity of holding on to his own secrets. Each revelation brought him closer to understanding the shared human experience, the commonality of quirks and flaws that made life beautifully imperfect. Finally, Lou found himself at the last room, the door to acceptance. It was an empty space, filled with soft light that seemed to hum with energy. As he stepped inside, he faced the apparition of his younger self, a whimsical figure bursting with dreams and aspirations. Who are you? The younger Lou asked, eyes sparkling with innocence. I'm you, but I've forgotten what it's like to dream, Lou replied, a twinge of sadness creeping in. Why did you stop dreaming? The younger Lou pressed, tilting his head in confusion. Life got complicated, and I started worrying about what others expected, Lou admitted. But I missed the freedom of imagination. The apparition smiled knowingly. You don't have to choose one over the other. Embrace who you are, imperfections and all. Your journey is what makes you unique. With those words, Lou felt a surge of clarity wash over him. It was time to embrace his true self and pursue the life he wanted. As he exited the room, he took a deep breath, the weight of uncertainty lifting. He had unraveled the chaos of his heart, and it felt like stepping into sunlight after a long, gloomy day. On his last day at the Seoul Hotel, Lou packed his belongings, feeling a sense of lightness that had eluded him for years. He approached Madame Lin, who was organizing colorful trinkets at the front desk. "Thank you for everything," he said, his heart full of gratitude. "This place has changed me." "Ah, my dear Lou," Madame Lin replied with a wink. "You did the work. I merely provided the canvas." As he checked out, she handed him a small rubber chicken, a silly, whimsical souvenir that felt like a token of his journey. "Remember, laughter is the best remedy," she said with a knowing smile. Lou chuckled, tucking the rubber chicken under his arm. "I'll remember that." As he stepped outside, the sun greeted him with warmth, and he felt lighter, more alive than ever. The Seoul Hotel had offered him more than just a strange adventure. It had opened his heart and mind to the absurdity of life, and he was ready to embrace it all. With a bounce in his step, Lou walked away, the world seeming brighter and more inviting. The journey of self-discovery was just beginning, and he was excited to see where it would lead him next. After all, life was a chaotic dance of emotions, dreams, and laughter, and he was finally ready to join in. Lou stepped out of the Seoul Hotel and into the bustling world outside. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden hue over the streets as if nature itself was applauding his newfound perspective. He could feel the rhythm of life pulsing around him, and for the first time in a long time, he was eager to be part of it. As he made his way through the town, he noticed the small things he had overlooked before. A group of children giggling as they chased each other with ice cream cones, an elderly couple sharing a quiet moment on a bench, and even a street musician playing a lively tune that made his heart dance. Each scene painted a picture of connection, joy, and the whimsical nature of life. With the rubber chicken tucked under his arm, a ridiculous yet fitting reminder of his journey, Lou pondered his next steps. What did he want to pursue? The answer bubbled up from deep within him, igniting a passion he had long forgotten. He wanted to write. The idea struck him like a thunderbolt. Writing had always been a dream, something he had pushed aside in favor of practicality. But why not? He could blend humor with the surreal, just as he had experienced in the hotel. With a burst of inspiration, he decided to take action. Lou would write about his adventures at the Seoul Hotel, capturing the laughter and lessons he had learned. That evening, he sat at a cozy cafe with a notebook and pen, letting the words flow freely. The cafe was warm and inviting, filled with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the soft murmur of conversations. As he scribbled down his thoughts, he felt the weight of expectation lift off his shoulders. The characters and experiences from the hotel came alive on the page, each word a brushstroke in the canvas of his story. Days turned into weeks, and as Lou wrote, he began to share his work with friends and family. Their responses were overwhelmingly positive, each compliment fueling his confidence. It was liberating to pour his heart out through his writing, to create characters that mirrored the absurdity of life itself. Eventually, he decided to share his work with a wider audience. Lou set up a blog, chronicling his experiences at the Seoul Hotel and the lessons he had learned. To his surprise, the response was remarkable. Readers resonated with his humor, the charm of his stories, and the relatable struggles of self-discovery. Lou found himself in a community of like-minded individuals who appreciated the beauty in the chaos of life. One evening, as he sat at his favorite cafe, his phone buzzed with a notification. It was an email from a publishing house interested in his work. His heart raced as he opened the message. They wanted to publish his stories. A mix of disbelief and excitement flooded through him. "This is it," he exclaimed to himself, a broad smile spreading across his face. The hotel had set him on this path, and he was finally ready to embrace his dreams. As his book was published, Lou organized a launch event at the very cafe where he had started writing. He invited everyone he had met along the way, friends, family, and even a few familiar faces from the hotel who had come to support him. The event was filled with laughter and stories, much like the hotel itself. During the event, Lou stood before a crowd, a mix of familiar and new faces. He took a deep breath, the rubber chicken perched on the podium as a humorous nod to his journey. "Thank you all for being here," he began, his voice steady but tinged with excitement. "I never thought I'd be standing here today, sharing my stories with you. But life has a funny way of leading us to where we're meant to be." As he read excerpts from his book, laughter filled the room. The absurdity of his experiences resonated deeply with everyone. He spoke about Mr. Zhang and his theatrical regrets, about Tina's wild dreams, and Kevin's absurd battles with a rubber chicken. Each story painted a vivid picture of the Seoul Hotel and the quirky guests who had helped him uncover the layers of his own heart. Lou felt a sense of belonging wash over him as he looked around the room. The laughter, the camaraderie, and the shared experiences created a bond that transcended the mundane. He realized that he was no longer just a lukewarm cup of tea, he had transformed into a vibrant blend of flavors, ready to embrace whatever life had to offer. As the night came to a close, Lou raised a toast. "To the journeys we take, the people we meet, and the laughter that binds us all together. Here's to embracing the chaos." Cheers erupted around the room, the clinking of glasses a harmonious melody of connection. Lou felt a surge of gratitude for the Seoul Hotel, for Madame Lin, and for every quirky character he had encountered. They had taught him that life was meant to be lived fully, with humor and heart. The next morning, he woke up with a sense of purpose and excitement. The world outside his window was alive with possibility. With the rubber chicken still resting on his desk, he smiled at the reminder of his journey. Lou was ready to explore the next chapter of his life, armed with humor and an open heart. He had learned that the most profound truths often lay hidden beneath the layers of absurdity, waiting to be uncovered, and so, Lou Wei set out into the world, not just as a writer, but as a person eager to embrace the whimsical and chaotic beauty of life. With laughter in his heart and dreams in his pocket, he stepped boldly into the future, ready to create his own adventure, one word at a time. Lou stepped out of his apartment, the morning sun casting a warm glow over the streets as he made his way to the cafe where he had launched his book. The memories of that night filled him with joy, and the energy of excitement thrummed in his veins. With each step, he felt a renewed sense of purpose, a determination to explore the world around him, to infuse his experiences into stories that would resonate with others. As he walked, he marveled at how ordinary sights transformed into extraordinary moments. A street vendor was playfully haggling with a customer, their banter filled with laughter. Lou paused for a moment, savoring the warmth of their camaraderie. He couldn't help but think of the characters he had met in the Seoul Hotel, how each of them had faced their fears and embraced the quirks of life. The cafe bustled with the familiar energy that had once inspired him. As he entered, the bell above the door chimed cheerfully, and the aroma of fresh coffee enveloped him like a comforting embrace. Lou spotted familiar faces at a table in the corner, his friends from the launch, their laughter echoing in the air. He waved and made his way over, his heart swelling with gratitude. "Lou," his friend Clara called, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "We were just talking about you. How's the book doing?" "It's doing great. I can't believe the response," Lou replied, taking a seat among them. People seem to really connect with the stories. That's fantastic. You have to tell us more about your time at the Seoul Hotel, another friend, James, encouraged. Leaning forward with interest, Lou chuckled, realizing how much he had to share. Where do I even begin? There was this one time in the Chamber of Regrets, where I met Mr. Zhang. He was so dramatic about his past mistakes, wearing costumes and everything. Costumes? Clara laughed, her face lighting up with curiosity. What kind of costumes? Lou launched into a lively retelling, animatedly describing Mr. Zhang's various outfits, a pirate hat, a pair of oversized glasses, each representing a different regret. His friends leaned in, captivated by the colorful imagery and the humorous anecdotes that seemed to leap to life. Lou realized that sharing his experiences was just as fulfilling as writing them down. With each story he shared, he felt the bond with his friends grow stronger, their laughter mingling with the hum of the cafe. The once muted corners of his life were now vibrant with possibility. He spoke of Tina's dream-filled gallery and Kevin's comical battles with the rubber chicken, each tale revealing not just his journey but the universal truths hidden in the absurdity of human existence. As they sat together, the conversation flowed effortlessly from one topic to another. They debated the latest trends, shared personal triumphs and challenges, and celebrated the beauty of their differences. Lou felt a profound sense of connection, realizing that the chaos of life was best navigated with companions who understood and embraced each other's quirks. After a while, the cafe owner approached their table, a smile on his face. "Lou, your stories have been quite the hit around here. People are asking for more. Maybe a reading event?" Lou's heart raced at the idea. A reading event? It was a chance to reach even more people, to share the laughter and lessons from his time at the Seoul Hotel. "I'd love to," he replied, the excitement bubbling over. "I can share more stories and invite others to join in. It'll be a celebration of humor and self-discovery." His friends cheered, their enthusiasm contagious. They brainstormed ideas for the event, discussing themes and decorations, each suggestion leading to more laughter and creativity. The air buzzed with possibilities, and Lou felt a surge of gratitude for the support of his friends. Days passed, and Lou poured himself into planning the reading event. He designed invitations, decorated the cafe with colorful streamers, and even organized a small open mic for others to share their stories. The anticipation built as the event drew nearer, and with each passing day, Lou found himself reflecting more on his journey at the Seoul Hotel. On the day of the event, the cafe was packed. Familiar faces mingled with new ones, the atmosphere charged with excitement. Lou stood at the front, a stack of his books beside him and the rubber chicken perched on the podium as a quirky centerpiece. He took a deep breath, scanning the crowd, and felt the warmth of encouragement enveloping him. "Thank you all for being here today," he began, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "I'm thrilled to share my stories and celebrate the beauty of our journeys together. Life is a wild ride, filled with laughter, chaos, and everything in between." He launched into the stories from the Seoul Hotel, recounting his encounters with Mr. Zhang, Tina, Kevin, and the others. The crowd erupted in laughter, their faces lighting up with every twist and turn of his tales. Lou's confidence swelled as he felt the energy of the room, each chuckle and cheer fueling his passion. As he read, he noticed a woman in the back, her eyes glistening with tears of laughter. She caught his gaze, and Lou smiled, realizing the impact of his stories. It wasn't just about sharing his journey, it was about connecting with others, about reminding them that they were not alone in their struggles. After the readings, he opened the floor to the audience, inviting anyone who wanted to share their own stories. One by one, people stepped up, each tale adding another layer of richness to the evening. They spoke of their fears, regrets, and dreams, each story infused with humor and resilience. Lou felt honored to listen, grateful for the shared vulnerability that filled the cafe with warmth. The event turned into a celebration of life's absurdities, reminder that everyone has their own unique journey filled with ups and downs. The laughter echoed through the walls, binding the community together in a way that Lou had never experienced before. As the night wore on, Lou found himself surrounded by friends and new acquaintances, the rubber chicken now a symbol of the camaraderie and joy they had shared. "Tonight was incredible, Lou," Clara said, beaming. "You really brought everyone together." "Yeah, it felt like we were all part of the same story," James added, clapping Lou on the back. Lou smiled, his heart swelling with gratitude. "I never imagined I could do this. It's amazing to see how our stories intertwine." As the evening drew to a close, Lou gathered his things, feeling a sense of fulfillment wash over him. The event had sparked something within him, a realization that storytelling was not just about sharing his own experiences but also about weaving a tapestry of shared humanity. With the cafe slowly emptying, Lou stepped outside, the cool night air refreshing against his skin. The stars twinkled overhead, and he took a moment to breathe in the beauty of the night. Suddenly, the rubber chicken slipped from his grasp, bouncing awkwardly on the pavement. He bent down to pick it up, chuckling to himself. "You really are a symbol of my journey, aren't you?" As he held it in his hands, he felt an overwhelming sense of joy and acceptance. The Soul Hotel had given him a gift far greater than he had ever anticipated, the courage to embrace his quirks, to share his voice, and to celebrate the absurdity of life. Lou turned and made his way home, the rubber chicken tucked under his arm, a delightful reminder of the laughter that had filled the night. With every step, he felt a renewed sense of purpose and excitement for the future. The next day, as he sat down to write, he envisioned new stories bubbling to the surface, each one infused with humor and heart. He was ready to explore more of the world, to discover the untold tales waiting just beyond his door. From that day forward, Lou embraced life as an ongoing adventure. He wrote feverishly, sharing his stories online and connecting with readers from all walks of life. His blog became a space for laughter, introspection, and shared experiences. People resonated with his humor and authenticity, and the community around him grew. Each day brought new inspiration, people sharing their own stories, celebrating their journeys, and connecting through the universal language of laughter. Lou found himself in a rhythm, a dance of creativity that felt as exhilarating as his time in the Soul Hotel. Months later, an unexpected email arrived in his inbox. It was from a literary agent who had stumbled upon his blog and was interested in representing him. Lou's heart raced as he read the message, disbelief mingling with excitement. This was the opportunity he had dreamed of, a chance to take his stories to an even wider audience. After some back-and-forth discussions, he signed the contract, feeling a surge of exhilaration. With the rubber chicken now a beloved part of his writing desk, he embraced the next phase of his journey with open arms. As he continued to write, Lou often reflected on his time at the Soul Hotel. Each character he had met lingered in his mind, their stories woven into the fabric of his own. The lessons he had learned there became the foundation of his writing, infusing every word with a sense of authenticity and warmth. He was now not just a storyteller, but a bridge connecting people through laughter and shared experiences. Lou realized that life was a never-ending journey of self-discovery, and every experience, no matter how small, held the potential to inspire, and so, he ventured into the world, pen in hand and rubber chicken by his side, ready to embrace the chaos and beauty of life. With each story he crafted, Lu Wei continued to inspire others, reminding them that laughter was indeed the best remedy, and that the journey was as important as the destination. With a heart full of gratitude and a spirit eager for adventure, Lu stepped boldly into the future, ready to write his own story, one whimsical moment at a time.